Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson. Managing expense claims. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover managing expense claims in QuickBooks Online Advanced. Topics: the Expense Claims Hub, setting up categories and inviting employees to submit expense claims, submitting expense claims, reviewing expense claims, employees' expenses. Employees or vendors will likely incur expenses on behalf of the company or make purchases that they should be reimbursed for. Managing these expenses doesn't have to be complicated. How can QuickBooks Online Advanced help? Clients can give their employees and vendors access to submit their expenses directly into QuickBooks Online Advanced without seeing any other financial data. This makes reviewing and tracking expense claims much easier. The Expense Claims Hub. The Expense Claims tab within the Expenses Center is a hub for all employee or vendor expense-related activities. From here, clients can invite employees and vendors to submit expenses and add the expense categories for them to choose from. Once the expenses are submitted, clients can review and approve them. Pro Advisor Tip. There's also a Manage Employee Expenses shortcut to the Expense Claims Hub in the Receipts tab of the Banking Center. Setting up categories and inviting employees to submit expense claims. Let's see how clients can set up categories for the expenses and then give their employees and vendors access to submit their expense claims. Navigate to the Expense Claims tab in the Expenses Center. Select Manage Settings. You'll see the Notify Me when an employee submits an expense claim option. Check the box if the client prefers to receive an email notification every time an employee or a vendor submits an expense. To set up the categories, select Manage Categories. Select Plus Add Category. Enter a nickname for the category. This is what employees or vendors will see when they add an expense. Then assign a category from the chart of accounts. Select Save. Note the Edit option in the Action column. Use this to edit, delete, or make categories inactive. Select Back to return to the Expense Management Settings drawer. To invite employees or vendors to submit their expenses, from here select Manage Employees. Select Plus Add Employee. From the drop-down, select an existing employee or vendor. Clients can also add a new employee or vendor by selecting Plus Add New. Then select Next. On the next screen, edit or add more details for the employee or vendor if necessary. When done, select Save. The employee now appears as a time tracking and expense claims user. QuickBooks Online now will send them an email inviting them to create an account and password to access the area of the client file where they can submit expenses. Note that the invite expires after 30 days. Submitting expense claims. Once clients authorize employees and vendors to submit expense claims, the employee or vendor receives an email inviting them to sign into their QuickBooks Online account or create one. They will become time tracking only users with expense claims access. They can then start submitting claims from their computer or mobile phone. There are two ways to create a claim: enter the expense info manually or upload a receipt. With either option, employees can then add or edit the following details about the expense: amount, whether they need to be reimbursed, transaction date, vendor name, category, using the options added by the client. Reason for the expense: this is an open response field. The image below shows an uploaded receipt with all transaction details entered. Reviewing expense claims. Submitted expense claims appear under the For Review tab in the Expense Claims Hub and in the Receipts tab in the Banking Center. By selecting Review from the options in the Action column, clients can review or edit the details of the submitted expense claim. From here, they can assign the correct payee or bank account information and categorize the transaction. Note that if the employee used cash or a personal card to pay for the expense, clients need to create a bill to be able to reimburse the employee. To do that, they use the Document Type drop-down and select Bill. Otherwise, leave Receipt selected. When clients select Save, QuickBooks Online Advanced searches for a match to an existing transaction in the Expenses Center. If it doesn't find one, it offers the option to create an expense, or a bill if that was selected. Once the expense is reviewed and saved, it appears under the Reviewed category. If the employee paid for the expense using cash or a personal card, the next time clients select Pay Bills, the bill appears there, ready for them to reimburse the employee. If the expense claim is categorized as an expense, clients must follow the usual workflow and match the expense with the correct transaction when the bank feed processes the transaction on the company card. Summing up. Learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, we covered managing expense claims in QuickBooks Online Advanced. Knowledge recap. Now you can show your clients how to invite employees and vendors to submit expenses for reimbursement. Next steps. This is the last lessons in this subject. Navigate back to the personalized training page to pick your next lesson.